Good evening to our viewers in Nigeria and those watching around the world. This is TVC News, Politics on Sunday, reading you live from our studio in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun, sitting in for Femi Akonde, who is on leave. Thank you for joining us. Let's begin the program by telling you that President Bola Tinubu has rounded off his official engagement in China, where he met with Nigerians living in the country, describing his visit as very good and successful. The president spoke when he held talks with members of Nigerians in diaspora organization in China and the Nigerian community at the China World Hotel. Also, during his earlier discussions with President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Jian at the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, President Tinubu emphasized his efforts to strengthen the cooperation in infrastructure, trade, finance, energy, green economy, and mining. On the program today, we'll talk about the gains of President Tinubu's international engagements, particularly the elevation of ties between the two countries to a strategic, comprehensive partnership. Joining us live is a public affairs analyst and former media aide to President Goodluck Jonathan, Reno, Omokri. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Omokri.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, Nigerians are eager to know the benefits from these foreign trips, bilateral relationships between Nigerians and these countries that the president have been visiting lately.
Yeah, so what's the question?
So my question is, they want to know the benefits of these bilateral relationships between Nigerians and this country. We just finished with China right now. What are the gains from this visit?
Well, if you look at China, let's take China as a specific case study. So the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation, what's happened with this forum is that President Xi has given Africa 50 billion. Now, it's not as easy as that. The headlines are saying he's giving Africa 50 billion, but much of that money, about 27 billion, is going to come in the form of credit. So it's not actually a gift. And then we have about $11 billion out of that fund is going to be in direct aid. So that's not credit, it's just like a gift to African countries. And then you have $141 million in military aid. So obviously that's going to help us in Africa, because if you look at the kinds of loans that we've been getting from the West, they've been coming with conditions. For example, with the Bretton Woods, they're asking a lot of African countries to take policies like the LGBTQ policies that we don't want in Africa. So with Chinese loans, they don't come with those kinds of conditions. So that's one of the benefits. And then also, a lot of infrastructure is going to come out of this meeting, this visit. So the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation, President Xi said it's going to be building infrastructure all over Africa, and Nigeria in particular. So if we can have infrastructure, for example, we're going to be needing roads in Nigeria. We're currently building the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. It's already been awarded, but then, subcontracts could be given out. So we also have the Sokoto Badagry Expressway. So in terms of infrastructure, we're going to get that. Also, he has pledged to train 6,000 military officers from Africa, of which the bulk of that is going to come from Nigeria. So in terms of our our war on terror, we're going to be seeing that we're going to have closer ties with China. But then, there are upsides, there are also downsides. If you look at what China is doing, one of the things is with this forum on Africa, of China-Africa Cooperation, it happens every 3 years. What we expect from China is that it should be structured like the Commonwealth of Nations, whereby it's not just holding every 3 years in China. Because if it's held every 3 years in China, that means that China has an overwhelming influence on the policy, and they can set the agenda. So probably they might want to move it from country to country. So maybe this year is held in Nigeria, next year is held in China, the third one is held in South Africa. But other than that, for this trip, it was a major win for Nigeria, a major win for President Bola Tinubu.
People will tell you that there's always a backlash. There's always a kind of payback time when it comes to collecting loan from these institutions, especially a country like China. Nigerians will also tell you that what happened between the Ogun State government recently and the Chinese government. Now we don't know the situation as regard that that very unfortunate event. So a lot of people will say that this will come at a cost, that it's not free at all, and at the end of the day, if we are not able to hold our own side of the bargain, that there will be a backlash.
But I did say that these were not just gifts, Although the headline said 50 billion given to Africa, I told you that about 27 billion of that is going to be credit. But let me correct you. What happened with Ogun State and the Chinese firm was not a government to a government affair. It was a government to private company affair. So it's not the Chinese state taking Nigeria to court in France and in the United States and seizing our presidential jets. No, that is a Chinese firm. As a matter of fact, the Chinese government intervened, and that's why the firm began to back down. They released one of the jets, and then they started to enter into talks. So, if you're using that as a case study, that's not a very good case study. Yes, with anybody, if you take a loan, if you go to a bank and take a loan and you refuse to pay back, of course, there's going to be payback. They're going to seize your collateral. So it's to be expected. These are not freebies. $27 billion in credit. But then if you look at what China has been doing, and I'm not speaking for China, I would rather Nigeria was able to sort our funds internally. But if you look at what China has been doing, take a country like Kenya. Kenya owes China about $8 billion. So they owe China more than we in Nigeria owe China. But China hasn't done much damage to them. As a matter of fact, President Ruto, on this trip, on this forum for China-Africa cooperation, he actually asked for $1 billion more, and I think he's going to get it. But if you look at the upside, I think the upside are more than the downside. What we can do on our own end is for President Bola Tinubu to begin to, just put in some safeguards. So, for example, we talk about infrastructure. China is notorious for using infrastructural projects all over the world, not just in Africa, all over the world, as a way of, getting rid of their prisoner population. So they take prisoners, conscript them into CTE city, and then they send them to various countries and to act as labor. So what we should say is that, okay, you're going to build roads, you're going to build infrastructure, you're going to build railways, but we want you to employ Nigerians. We don't want you to bring in Chinese convicts into Nigeria to build this. And then also on our end, we can begin to say that, okay, if you want Africa to develop, if you want Nigeria to develop, there are certain things that you can do. Now, one of the things that you can do to help us develop is this. In Nigeria, for example, you're flooding Nigeria with cheap Chinese textiles. And we've got, a cluster in Kaduna, the textile industry. And that textile industry is suffering because of what you are doing in China. So if we can appeal to the Chinese government to just stop that, to, use some, let's say, affirmative action to stop. Because if we ban Chinese textiles in Nigeria, it's not going to work. They're just going to go to Benin Republic, Togo, and then they're going to smuggle it through the border. So we need to have affirmative action so that our own textile industry can grow. Also, if you look at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, for instance, now Airtel and MTN are the biggest publicly traded company at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. One of the reasons why is because our neighbors, people like Benin Republic, Togo, Cameroon, instead of them getting cement from Dangote Cement, they're getting cheap cement from China. So if we can talk to the Chinese government to do something about that, then that is going to be another upside. But other than that, if you look at it, if you take it into account, there are more upsides to this deal than downsides.
A lot of people will tell you that the Western nations, like the Americans and European countries, that they will not be happy with our seeming close ties with the Chinese government because of the the international alignments, and they will tell you that, look, if you want to go with the Chinese, that there are some things they are not going to give to us. Like we need military support, we need defense pact, we need so many things from the Western, the Americans and the European, from Europe, that, look, we might not get that easily from the Chinese government.
Well, that's not going to make sense, because if you look at the U.S. right now, the 7 largest publicly traded companies in the United States, they're going to be Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google. So you have these companies, you also have Alphabet. These companies, they are all in China. So as a matter of fact, these companies, their total assets in China is something like about 2.7 trillion. So you've got American firms. The whole of the business and the trade between Nigeria and China is probably going to be maybe about 3.3 billion. You have American corporations having something like 2.7 trillion in terms of trade. If you use an iPhone, your iPhone is made in China. If you're using a lot of products that you buy on Amazon, it's gotten from China. So there are closer economic links between the United States and China than between Nigeria and China. So I don't think that's going to happen, because if you look at our style of government, we are a democracy. We're practicing capitalism, and those are more aligned to Western democracies. But having said that, it is not the responsibility of Nigeria to conduct our foreign affairs, our foreign relations, to please anybody. Our foreign relations have to be done to please Nigeria. We're looking for infrastructure, we're looking for credit. Anybody that can give us that in the best possible terms is going to be our friend. We don't care about your quarrels with China or with Russia. We want to develop. And if you can help us develop, then that's what we want.
Ultimately, we are looking at the trade talks. Last administration, there's been this trade talk between Nigeria and China, but till now, we're yet to see the benefit of that particular deal. I remember them talking about Naira swapping, the Naira swapping deal that time.
Well, the Naira swap deal did not work because it wasn't implemented. And if you want to have answers to that question, then you need to spring Godwin Emefiele out of prison, and you need to get General Muhammadu Buhari on this chair. They are the best people to respond to that. But we're talking about now, in the here and now. In the here and now, we're seeing implementation. We're seeing that this government, we do have some challenges with insecurity in our country. So obviously, the fact that China wants to help train our military officers is going to be good. We do have a challenge with infrastructural deficit. As a matter of fact, Nigeria has a housing deficit of about 21 million. So if we have a partner like China that's going to help us build houses, then that's okay. But we cannot be looking at what happened in the past and say, okay, well, because of that, then we're going to just become a bit skeptic with them. No. In the case of General Muhammadu Buhari, a lot of those things did not pan out because the Buhari administration did not implement them. And we can't blame China for that. Now, having said that, we need to conduct our own affairs in the best interest of Nigeria. And so, however we can do that, we got to do that.
How will they help us to solve our local problem? We talked about problems earlier. Right now, in the energy sector, the food sector, we have a big problem. A lot of Nigerians are complaining, and they're growing, and they're saying, look, we can't continue like this. Some parts in the north, they sell as much as 1,300, 1,200 naira per liter. And a lot of Nigerians see this, that this is not the reason why they voted for the ruling party. That, look, this is not what they told Nigerians. That they actually came out to tell Nigerians they're going to do something about the price, as at that time at 100 and something, that they're going to do something to reduce it. Right now, we're in a situation whereby people are purchasing this commodity for 1,000 naira. Almost 1,000 naira. Let me say some
things to you. You got to understand how government operates. There are 4 ways by which a government can get revenue. 4 ways. So the first one is to seize the resources that belong to the states and the people, and domicile that in the central government. That's what General Aguiyi-Ironsi did on May 24, 1966, with the unification of Assets Decree. Now, the second way by which you can get revenue as a state, as a country, is to tax individuals, tax states, and tax corporations. Now, the third way is by borrowing money, and the fourth way is by printing money. Beyond these 4 ways, a country cannot make revenue. Now, if you look at Nigeria's own situation, we make about $36 billion from oil and gas every year. If you divide that by Nigeria's population, you get $150 per citizen. And from that $150 per citizen, you expect the country to build infrastructure, to pay civil servants, to maintain the military and law enforcement, to also do a lot of free education, free healthcare. Now, it's not going to work. We're not getting enough revenue. Our population is expanding very fast. We've got one of the fastest growing populations in the world. Our population is increasing at a rate of 2.1%. Now, if you say, okay, we're going to get money by taxing Nigerians, less than 10% of Nigerians pay taxes. Our tax to GDP ratio in Nigeria is something about 8.5%. So if a country like Ivory Coast has a larger tax to GDP ratio than Nigeria. Germany has 39%. In the United States, 59.9% of adults in America pay tax. In Nigeria, less than 10% of the people pay tax. So what are you going to do? Then, okay, you're going to borrow. If you borrow, which is what the Buhari administration was doing, the Buhari administration, they borrowed more money than the Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan governments combined. And that's why we're in this mess. So you're left with the fourth option, printing money. If you start to print money, what's going to happen is that you're going to devalue the money already in circulation. Because when you print money without it being backed by the productive capacity of your organized private sector and your people, it's going to lead to massive inflation and devaluation of your currency. So Nigeria has to realize that The old way of doing things where Nigerians were living at the expense of the Nigerian state, it's gone. It's gone forever. It cannot work. If we keep on doing that, we're going to be like Zimbabwe or Venezuela. Our economy is going to collapse. So we need to have a situation whereby the government takes its hand away from the pricing of petroleum products. So that
this move has thrown the country, Nigerians, into untold hardship. That's what that's what we are experiencing since you announced the removal of a subsidy. Removing your hand from that sector and allowing people to buy at the landing cost or whatever cost we have now, but people are poorer. People are not finding it easy in the country.
Well, but that's what I'm explaining to you. We need to live within our means. Because what you're asking the government to do, if you want the government to begin to bring back subsidy or to artificially reduce the price of petroleum products, is that we should either borrow more money. And you got to understand, right now, as I speak to you right now, Nigeria is the third largest debtor to the World Bank's International Development Association. So our debt to GDP ratio is getting to the point where it's going to be unsustainable. So if you look at our revenue right now, we are spending a lot of money servicing our debts, servicing and repaying our debts. And these are not monies that this administration took. These are monies that previous administration took. These are loans that previous administrations took. So, it got to a point whereby we were spending, I think it was about 91% of our revenue on debt servicing. So that means that for every ₦1 Nigeria was making, we're spending 91 kobo servicing our debts. So we have to learn to live within our means. If it means that for a period of time, we're going to face hardship, then so be it. Because otherwise, if you have a child and you're giving your child breast milk, it's got to get to a point whereby your child will have to be weaned of that breast milk. And when your child is being weaned of that breast milk, your child is going to cry. Your child is going to do as if it's going to die. It's going to show tantrums. It's going to start to roll on the floor. But if the child is not weaned of breast milk, the child is not going to mature. That's the state that we're in Nigeria. Other countries have passed through it. If we don't pass through it, we're just going to be delaying the evil day, or worse, we can become like Zimbabwe or Venezuela, whereby our economy is going to collapse. Is that what you want? No.
Are even telling me that you are never in Nigeria, you are hardly even in the country, and you are telling people in the country to withstand this kind of a hardship? You don't know what people are going through?
If I'm not in the country, even if I'm not in the country, I've got businesses in the country. I have staff that I'm paying salaries in the country. I pay tax. I'm one of the few Nigerians that are paying tax. Last year, and I can bring my certificate to you, I paid about 2.7 million in tax in Nigeria. You've got some people, they are listening to Simon Ekpa in Finland. He's in the country. Yes, a lot of people are listening to him. You've got people that are listening to so-called activists that are out of the country. Omoyele Sowore, he was in New Jersey. He asked Nigerians to go on a protest. They went on a protest. They destroyed public infrastructure to the tune of 200 billion naira. Omoyele Sowore and Simon Ekpa, they don't have investments in that country. I've got investments. I've got student hostels. I've got businesses. I buy innocent vehicles. So I'm putting money into that economy. So I do have the right to talk. And that's why Business Insider magazine made me as the most influential business person on the internet from Africa.
Ultimately, do you think at this curve, how long do you think this is going to last? Because Nigerians are gnashing their teeth.
Well, if Nigerians are gnashing their teeth, let's look at the macroeconomic policies. Let's look at what's happening. For the first time in a long time, we've got a trade surplus. What's a trade surplus? That means that we are now exporting more than we are importing, which is a good thing. So if we are having this situation right now, what we need is that we need our country and our citizens to be patient, to understand what is happening. Look, I see some people, they compare Nigeria to a country like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has about $350 billion worth of oil revenue every year. If you divide that by their population, that's $10,000 per citizen. You can't compare Saudi Arabia with Nigeria. In terms of oil and resources, we are resource poor in Nigeria. So we need to make sure that we begin to live within our resources. And after that, we're going to start heading up somewhere.
A lot of people feel that some people that voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president, that they made the wrong choice. Because a lot of people are saying that if they had given the likes of Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar the opportunity, that we would not be where we are today.
Well, I believe that Waziri Atiku Abubakar is a very good presidential candidate anywhere, anytime. And if he was in charge of the Nigerian economy, I believe that he would do well. Having said that, all of the major presidential candidates said they were going to remove fuel subsidy. As a matter of fact, you mentioned Peter Obi. I can show you on video. Peter Obi said, and I'm quoting him, subsidy will go on day one. That's what he said. Subsidy will go on day one. So, I mean, if you are now trying to say that, oh, Peter Obi or any other president have done things differently, it doesn't make sense. Because they already said during the campaigns that they were also going to do what the president is doing now, which is remove the subsidy on oil and also float the naira. So any other thing right now is not going to be the same.
I just want to check the reflection. Let me see.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still politics on Sunday. We'll be right back after this time. Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Politics on Sunday, and we'll still have the former presidential spokesman with us, Reno Omokri. Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Omokri. You said Nigerians don't pay tax. Now, do you support the tax presidential committee to raise it from 10% to 7.5%, Reno?
Well, I mean, I think that if you look at the tax Nigerians are paying, first and foremost, you've got to look at both the percentage of Nigerians paying tax and the amount of tax they're paying. So let me give you a couple of examples. If you live in Germany, for example, and if you earn 54,000 euro in Germany, you're going to be paying 26,000 euro as tax. And if you ask Nigerians to pay that kind of tax, I'm telling you tomorrow there's going to be riots on the streets. But Nigerians will watch a movie and see what's happening in Germany and say they want that, they want that. So that's the entitlement that we have in Nigeria. We're not paying taxes. Very few of us are paying taxes. We're not paying a lot of taxes. But then we want government to give us infrastructure. Where is the money going to come from? Like I told you, we are a resource-poor country. If you look at our oil resources and compare us to even a country like Ghana, on a country-to-country basis, Ghana is more oil-rich than Nigeria because we have 1.5 million barrels per day to about 220 million people. And Ghana has about 250 million barrels per day to less than 30 million people. So if you look at that, so we need to expand our tax bracket. And a lot of people don't understand the thing about taxes. If you get citizens that are paying taxes, those citizens are going to get better infrastructure. And they are also going to want to hold their government officials to account. Look, Nigerians are more disciplined with paying their tithes to their churches than to pay taxes to the government. And there's more transparency with the government with taxes. At least you've got a budget, you've got the Fiscal Responsibility Act, you've got the Freedom of Information Act, which allows citizens to question their government and get an answer. But a lot of these churches that Nigerians pay their tithes to, they don't have any of that checks and balances. Yet their pastors are living very, very, extravagant lives. They're driving the Porsche cars, they're flying in private jets. Nigerians need to realize that if we want to have good infrastructure, if we want to have, like the things that we've seen in Europe, we need to be paying taxes.
All right. I want to thank you, Mr. Omokri, for your intervention today. Thank you for being our guest on Politics on Sunday. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Politics on Sunday. We'll be right back after this time out. Thank you, Mr. Omokri. Staying with us is the second half. In River State, it is not just about the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike threatening to deal with PDP governors that interferes in the affairs of the party. There is still an issue of unsettled issue over the true status of the 27 lawmakers that initially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. The Martin Amaule-led 27 members of the State House of Assembly loyal to Nyesom Wike, Minister of the FCT, were accredited and participated in last week's PDP State Delegate Congress that elected officials of the party. It would also be recalled that the status of the lawmakers was, a subject of litigation in various law courts following their defection from PDP to APC last year. Joining me live in the studio to give an insight to the unresolved fate of the 27 lawmakers is Comrade Lucky Otos, APC caretaker chairman in Abua Ojoa. Please, Chief.
Chief
Lucky. Okay, you prefer the prefix. Okay, not Comrade. Chief Lucky Otos. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Now, when you look at the complexity, these lawmakers stood up and they rose up on a particular sitting and they actually told Nigerians that they were defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. And now it's now a subject of litigation. I don't know. What is the bone of contention here?
As far as we are concerned, I'm a member, not only a member, a shifting of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State. As a caretaker chairman of the parties, I was not served any notice. I have my House of Assembly member is among the 27 as we speak, Honorable John Iderima.
But you saw it on TV when they announced their defection.
No.
You didn't see it?
No, they didn't defect. What they did.
Oh, they didn't defect?
No, hold. If I should go by what you have just said there, holding flag, that doesn't mean defection. I'm a politician. Before I would change boot or cross carpet or pot, I had to meet certain conditions. True or false? That made me I'm a member of APC, right? I want to go to PDP. I will go to my ward. I will write a letter to the party.
Don't you think these lawmakers are trying to exploit the loopholes?
No loopholes.
Nigerians are not foolish.
No, they have never defended.
On national TV, we saw it. This station reported it. Most major TV stations in Nigeria reported it. Yes, it's a subject of court litigation.
Sorry. Now you are now in TV on TV. You are now working here, right? Are you working in AIT? If you want to go to AIT, you must meet certain conditions. Are you getting me? True or false? They only hold, you saw them with flags. Is that the qualification for defection? I'm a politician. I defected from the PDP 2000 with Rotimi Amechi to the APC. In fact, I am the pioneer chairman of my ward. I went to the ward. I wrote to the ward leadership. I was registered. They gave me party card. Okay. Are these lawmakers in APC now? APC, and you saw them last week, Saturday, right? Yes. Participating in the PDP Congress. That speaks for itself. That they are not members of my party. They are not members of my party.
I want to ask the implication of all this, because right now they participated in last week's Congress, and I think it's now left for the Supreme Court to make the final verdict.
That is what everybody is waiting for. The Supreme Court. Justice Bassam of the State High Court in Rivers State. Are you aware of the ruling? Yes, yeah. You are aware. Are you also aware of that of Justice J.K. Omokri?
Court of Appeal.
That settles it. What is happening in Rivers State is mere politics, being instigated by the governor of
Rivers State. The more you look, the less you see.
By the governor of Rivers State. Tomorrow you see them, they will say this thing. Next tomorrow you see Oko Jumbo. How can three people, 3 members in the House of 32, 3 members just got up one morning to say one is their speaker, 2 are member? How? It's against our constitution. Nigeria, I think Nigeria is not a banana republic.
Are you not aware that millions of people, millions of lives have been toyed with on the altar of politics between the PDP and the All Progressive Congress in the River States?
Well, no life.
As in, you have a mandate. There's a governor that they've not allowed to work. They've not allowed to do this program.
No.
This program, the House of Assembly.
Nobody is holding the government.
It cannot work if the House of Assembly does not, is not. Does not, assign to most of, maybe let's say from the budget to the clearance of his commissioners and so many other things that he might not be able to implement things.
Okay. Take a look for this. If Justice Bassam and Omotoso judgment, which you rightly have, right? I'm not with my own here. I would have furnished you with one. I've said these people are members of assembly. What stops the governor going to represent the budget? Are you aware that as we speak in Rivers State, the governor of Rivers State, Fubara, is running the state without a budget, approved budget from the assembly? Are you aware? What they do is, each time they want to screen, they will bring old members that were in the assembly to fill the place and say this assembly of screen, which I think, like, with apologies to our madam, when the law speaks, the noise will run. We are just waiting for the Lord to speak. The noise will run. We are all aware of what is happening in Rivers State. We are all aware.
Okay.
The court has said, Right Honorable Martin Samewule is authentic Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. True or false?
I don't know.
That is what the law said by the judgment of Justice Bassam and that of J.K. Obotosho. The judgment clearly that just Right Honorable Martins Amewule should go on with his functions and other members as Rivers State House of Assembly members.
All right. I'll take you to Mr. Darlington Orji, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Political Affairs and Strategy, who is joining us. Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Darlington Orji.
Caretaker Ikore Local Government.
Are you there? Okay. My producer will still establish it. We can have contact with him so that we hear from their other side too. Because as long as this PDP, APC, Embroglo persists, there might not be peace in Rivers State.
Yes. Darlington Orji is the caretaker chairman.
I won't allow you to talk about him while he's not here to defend himself. Please talk about the issue on ground. The
issue on ground is whether the APC, the lawmakers, defected or not. I'm the caretaker chairman of Abu Odwal APC. I am here to tell Nigerians that those people are still members of PDP. What we did was to hold them. Well, in fact, yesterday I called my member. I'm still waiting him to come over to the APC.
Okay, you still want him to
formally? I want him, not formally. He hasn't come. I want him to come to APC.
Okay. What will now be the procedure?
For him to come to APC. He will write to his ward.
Okay.
He will be registered. He will be given a party card.
Oh.
That qualifies him to be a member of a political party or APC, as I so wish. Not using, okay, those who protested last time, and you saw them with flags, French flags. I said French. Yes. Are they members of that country? Are they citizens of the country? No. So we must begin to rise to the occasion to get things and to put things right.
Now, do you still see Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor, the FCT minister? Do you think if they sit down and they iron these differences and the state will be able to move forward? Do you think that's still happening?
Yes, I think so. There is still room for peace. There is still room for, because there is nothing God cannot do as a Christian. Remember, the president invited these same persons. Are you getting me? To the villa, and they made up certain conditions for peace. Only for the governor to go back to the Rivers State, to Rivers State, and on public national television say the peace pact that was resolved in the villa is a mere tissue paper. That it is a political agreement that is not in the constitution. Are you getting me? When you come to Rivers State, you see how the governor of Rivers State behaves. You don't know. My dear brother.
From what we can see, he's popular. He's popular amongst those people.
Who?
His followers.
Who is popular?
Growing bigger every day.
Does he have followers? Does Fubara have followers in Rivers State? All those are people who is there to make him, who deceive him into this problem.
So what's the difference between APC and PDP in that same state now, if you're speaking like this?
I am a member of the APC. Are you getting me?
At the same time,
I am also
faction of the PDP.
I am also a Christian. I know what is good. I know what is bad. I'm not a member of PDP. I left PDP 2014. I left PDP 2014. I'm a pioneer chairman of the party in 1999. PDP. I left PDP in 2014 with Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi as governor. I don't have any business to do with PDP. Okay. That doesn't also mean I will play politics with bitterness. That is not my kind of boy. If I see the minister of FCT, I will greet him. Okay.
Is Darlington Orji ready now? Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Orji.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, good evening.
Yes, I'm sure you listened to what your counterpart from the All Progressive Congress said earlier, that the Lucky Otos, and he said the problem in Rivers State is as a result of Governor Sim Fubara not adhering to the peace accord that was brokered by the president.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to balance some of the issues. Mr. Lucky, I know him very well. I can refer to him as one of my brothers, taking the fact that we are all from Rivers State. And what do you make of the peace accord? Can Lucky agree to such conditions that we are giving? Peace accord means that we make your contribution, I make my contribution, and a resolution will be made. But by the way, I heard him say clearly that the problem in Rivers State is caused by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Sasimilalayi Fubara. It shows me, or it points to the fact that Mr. Lucky is very economical with the truth and is afraid to speak truth to power. Now, what will you imagine of a situation where a sitting governor will be there and another man wants to control the structure of the state? And by the way, you know, because I came late, so you will allow me to take the points from all corners. I heard him talk about the assembly, formal assembly members led by Martin Amehude, that they didn't defect. These are men that did not only defect, but they are on oath, on affidavits, or oath of affidavits that they have defected. And a reception was organized for them at Polo Club in Port Harcourt, and they were properly received. And the correspondence was read in the floor of the House by Martin Amehude himself, the former Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, claiming that they have left the party. And again, the present FCT minister, in one of their functions, also blamed them and said that they are leaving the party without, referring to him. And it is very unfortunate that my brother there will stand up to say that they didn't defer, that they are still weighing them. I don't know what they mean by weighing men that will go to a program and, shout the slogan of APC and they will say change. And you say the man belongs to PDP. It's so unfortunate. But let me tell you, in case he has forgotten, Rivers people has a pattern of followership. They love you, they believe in you as their governor if you are doing what is right at that time. And they will reject you completely, like they rejected Mr. Lucky Otom and his famous and his master, Right Honorable Chibike Amechi, who unfortunately comes from my local government. At the time he felt he was so powerful in the state, the people of Rivers State abandoned him when he took the choice of APC. My brother there in the studio will agree with me. And again, he says, former governor of Rivers State, who, co-joined our people to love him by forcefully engage people into a relationship as the governor of Rivers State, unknown to him, that the people have a mindset. And as soon as he left and decided to mortgage the resources of Rivers people, and our people rose to the occasion and say no. Yes, Fubara may not have followership as he has claimed. It's in the time past. He went to a sensitization campaign in his local government, and it was overwhelming. What the governor has is an organic support without money. So it doesn't matter whether he believes he has followership or not. Somebody like me, Peter knows, I was the former spokesman of the PDP in Rivers State. So what has happened? That I have to shift the gun and remain with His Excellency, the first man that won 23 local governments in Rivers State. It has never happened before. So my brother needs to take to heart and believe the fact that Rivers people have surrounded His Excellency and have decided to protest him.
Let me ask you this question. Who is the party leader of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State right now?
His name is His Excellency Sasimilalayi Fubara. The constitution of PDP is very clear on that the governor of the state is the leader of PDP if he so belongs to the party. So he is the leader of the party. And my brother cannot be...
But why was he absent from that Congress? Why was he absent from the Congress of the People's Democratic Party? Please, you have your time. You have your time. Please, let him talk.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Please, go on.
There is no Congress conducted ab initio. The process, you can't put something on nothing. There is a court judgment that halted the process of the... Because, before a state chairman will emerge, it starts from the ward, the LGA before the state. And there is a process that have already stopped the ward processes that we are supposed to be on. So you cannot say he was absent. It cannot be in an occasion that is not known by law, that will not be acceptable at the end of the day, and that we reject.
Is backing candidates from other political parties to run for local government election?
Well, please, can you come again, please?
Is it true that Governor Fubara will be fielding candidates from other political parties?
I speak to you today, the CTC chairman of the local government. I'm still a bona fide member of PDP. His Excellency, the governor, has told us severally that he's still a bona fide member of PDP. We have not heard that, except my brother in the studio will say he has heard that. But if that happens, my brother, political party is just a vehicle that you can drive through and get to a destination. What matters is the developmental projects, the dividend of democracy you are going to attract to your people. That is what is possible and what matters. I remind you that in 2023 election, as the spokesman of the PDP, as then, we voted for Aswaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president because we were convinced that he was going to do better than the previous administration. So political party is just a verb that you drive through to your destination. What is important is how do your people feel about your rapid development, about your response to their needs, and how
the governor is still supporting the three-man House of Assembly in Rivers State?
Of course, the authentic speaker is Right Honorable Omokri. And let me also use this opportunity to remind my brother, in 2019, we had a court issue. Out of the 32 members of Rivers State House of Assembly, the court nullified about 22. And as at then, the Speaker of the House still remained, the Botroma, I've forgotten his full name, was the Speaker. So is this saying that assuming the electoral tribunal nullified 30 seats or 28 seats or 20 seats, that the remaining people are not members of Rivers State House of Assembly? And again, I heard him talk about the budget. His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, presented the budget by the pronouncement of the court that recognized Right Honorable Edison Sinehye at the time as the authentic Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. Except he needs to wake up from his dream, but he should.
So, let's stick to the three-man, and you are saying that it's the Amaude-led faction.
Yes.
That is the Speaker of the House of
Yes.
Assembly, and the case is at the Supreme Court now.
It's at the Supreme Court.
It's the final court of the land.
Final court of the arbiter. That is
what
why
we advise to do now is just to calm the nerves in Rivers State. The both APC, PDP, everybody should calm down and wait for the Supreme Court verdict.
Victor Oko-Jumbo and two of his friends were suspended by the majority house. The judgment of Bassam is still there, very much alive, haven't been vacated. That of Justice Omoto. Okay, well, let's not dive into the issues in court because it will be sub judice. So I don't want to dive into the issues in court. But all we are saying is that these 27 lawmakers are members of the House of Assembly and PDP. I've said here, what qualifies you to be a member of a political party as a politician? Darlington Oje is my very good friend. We've served in various committees in Rivers State. He's my very good friend. He knows me. I know him. Darlington Oje is not even a member of PDP as we speak. During the registration, they just concluded registration and River. How can you be a CTC chairman in your local government? You don't know who is your ward chairman. You don't know who is your ward chairman. You don't have party S. In fact, you don't have ESCOs. And you are here on national TV claiming you're a chairman of party in the local government. Even the governor himself. These people have told, in one of these stations, the governor rightly said that PDP have failed him. That what they are doing now is movement. As we speak in Rivers State, they have adopted APP.
What's APP?
APP is a political party. Elephant is their logo. That is APP now. Elephant is their logo, their own logo. That is the party Sim Fobara and the likes of Darlington Oji are running with now.
Can you substantiate that? You can't substantiate
No.
that.
No.
You're a member of All Progressive Congress. How will you know?
I am a member of the All Progressive Congress. I have my facts. I'm a politician. I'm a Rivers man. I live in Rivers State. Are you getting me? Let Darlington Oji come here and tell me that he has no...
Darlington, I want you to react to what you just said.
Darlington Oji is a member of APP. The elephant is their logo. He's there now.
Okay, let's allow Darlington to talk.
Darlington is my friend and my bro. He's there now.
What's APP in River State?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Darlington. Please allow him. Please, I insist. I insist you allow him. Allow him.
Please accommodate the former governor and current minister of FCT. He knows he cannot substantiate whatever thing he's saying. But again, I went further to tell you that political party is a vehicle through which you can drive to your destination. It doesn't matter.
No. Are you running up with local government next local government election under APP as he has alleged?
Let him mention one candidate that he knows. Let him mention. He lives in River State. He does his business here like he has claimed. So let him mention one candidate or we cite one political meeting we have heard as regards the political party is referring to.
Darlington wants to contest for the executive position.
Can you allow me to say something? We need to maintain decorum. We need to maintain decorum, please. We are national television, so I keep quiet whenever you are saying anything you are saying. But you see, my brother shouldn't be bothered about the political party we are running from. Yes, His Excellency made a statement that PDP was not fair to him. Yes, there are, as a member of a political party, are you saying that if things are going wrong, you shouldn't express it or say it out? And if you do say, then you are in the mess or you are in the...
Is he on his way out of that party? Is Governor Fubara on his way out of PDP?
Governor Fubara is the leader of PDP in Rivers State and is still a member and card-carrying member of PDP in Rivers State or PDP in Nigeria until he says otherwise. As at this minute I speak with you, he's a member of PDP. Except my brother there has cited him in a meeting that was called by his... my brother belongs to APDPC. He does not belong to APC. He does not belong to PDP. Faith, which is not bad. So for us, let him not be worried. The platform we are going to use to run the election at the local government level. But you should be concerned about our rapid growth, the movement of sin. Remember, they used to say that sin does not have any person in Rivers State. But you will agree with me that sin is the most popular governor in Nigeria and has the highest followership in Nigeria.
But the crisis, but the crisis in the last 12 months seems to have slowed down the pace of governance in Rivers State. The internal crisis within the People's Democratic Party. What I'm saying...
I can't hear you, please.
Okay, Honorable Darlington, what I'm saying is that the internal crisis within the People's Democratic Party seems to have slowed down governance in the last 1 year.
No, it is not correct. It is not correct because the developmental strides of His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, has shown that the man is prudent in managing the resources of our people. Take into cognizance that his tenure has expired and that he ceases to be the Governor of Rivers State by the Constitution of Nigeria and wants to be the FCT.
Okay. Let me allow you to take your final word then.
Yes. My brother Darlington Oji is just trying to leave the lane and the track. Darlington Oji wants to contest of the chairman of Ikwerre local government, executive. As we speak, he's serving as caretaker, illegal, according to the Supreme Court judgment, illegal caretaker. Darlington Oji wants to be chairman of Ikwerre local government, executive. Which party is he running on? As the PDPs. The PDP have said they are not contesting. The APC have said they are not contesting. They have gone and they have adopted APP. Nigerians should know this.
APP.
They adopted APP. Elephant is their logo. In Igbo language, call it AE. That is why you hear Gogogongwa party in River State. That is the party Fubara and is the likes of Darlington adopted to run the 5th October election.
Okay, your final take, Darlington Oji.
My final take is that he should come to terms and the reality that His Excellency has come to stay, and I shouldn't bother about political party. Political party is just a vehicle that a man will drive through his destination. He has alluded here that I am contesting as the chairman of the local government. First, I'm qualified. I have the professional background.
Under which party now? Under which party? Under which party? Are you still a member of the PDP? Are you still a member of the PDP?
You cannot cry more than the belief.
I hear you talk about the giant stripe, development stripe of Fubara. Can you name one project Fubara started since he came to office and have concluded concluded?
You are taking advantage of the fact that he's not in the studio with us, but we've lost.
No. Darlington is my friend and my brother. I have nothing against him. But when we come to
please, I want to thank you.
We should always come with the truth.
I want to thank you.
This is equity. We should appear with
special advisor to the Governor of Political Affairs and Strategy, Mr. Darlington Oji. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you. And also want to thank you from the All Progressive Congress. You seem to be, you seem to be interested in what is happening in PDP more than members of the PDP.
I have told you.
And you claim to be a member of the All Progressive Congress.
River State is our state. We are aware of what is happening in River State. Are you hearing me? River State is our state. I'm not interested who is the leader of PDP. I'm not.
We have to leave it there. We have to leave it there.
But I'm only telling you that Darlington Oji and Sam Fubara, they are on their way to APP. It's no longer a secret.
All right, only time will tell. All right, and that's our package today. For this week, our episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Also, you can watch the repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. tonight. That's Sunday.